A report released just hours ago showing that the South is seeing the highest number of reported human trafficking cases compared to other parts of the country.
These human traffickers are moving these children. Sometimes they don't turn themselves in. Sometimes it's not just unaccompanied minors walking up to Border Patrol, but adults smuggling children into the United States for the worst, most nefarious.
Human trafficking is not just a distant overseas problem. The issue is here. It's in our communities. It's in our small towns. It's in our big cities.
November 12th, 2025. 4:18 a.m., Chicago, Illinois. A cold wind moves through the quiet streets of the Gold Coast district as unmarked black SUVs glide silently past rows of historic brick mansions. Most of the city is still asleep. Streetlights cast a pale glow over empty sidewalks, but behind the iron gates of one of Chicago's most prestigious estates, something unusual is about to unfold. More than 40 federal agents move into position along the perimeter. Some wear FBI tactical jackets, while others represent Homeland Security investigations and the DEA. Radios whisper with low, controlled voices as agents take their positions. At exactly 4:21 a.m., the command is given. Within seconds, the stillness of the neighborhood shatters. Tactical teams move through the gate as floodlights illuminate the property, and agents begin securing the grounds. The investigation that brought them here had taken nearly 18 months to build, and what federal authorities believed they would find beneath this property would soon trigger one of the largest coordinated drug enforcement operations in the Midwest in over a decade. If you believe stories exposing corruption and hidden criminal networks deserve attention, consider supporting awareness by engaging with the video so more people can stay informed. From the outside, the estate appeared exactly what it claimed to be. A restored limestone mansion built nearly a century earlier, surrounded by carefully maintained gardens and tall iron fencing. According to public records, the home belonged to Chicago Mayor Daniel Mercer, a career politician known for speeches about urban reform and public safety. Neighbors described the property as quiet and well protected. Occasionally, black sedans arrived late at night, and delivery trucks stopped briefly at the rear service gate. But in a neighborhood filled with executives and political figures, that kind of activity barely registered as unusual. For years, Mercer had cultivated an image of transparency and leadership. He appeared regularly at community meetings, spoke about rebuilding neighborhoods damaged by crime, and presented himself as a symbol of stability in a city facing complex challenges. No one suspected that beneath the carefully maintained lawn behind the estate's stone walls, investigators would eventually uncover something far darker. The first sign that something was wrong appeared more than a year earlier, when financial analysts working with the Treasury Department's anti-money laundering division flagged a series of unusual transactions connected to a logistics company operating in northern Illinois. At first glance, the company appeared legitimate, but its accounts showed repeated deposits in structured amounts just below federal reporting thresholds. Over several months, those deposits totaled more than $12 million. The company had no clear business model capable of generating that kind of cash flow, so the case was quietly referred to federal investigators. What they discovered next expanded the scope dramatically. Wiretaps connected to a separate DEA investigation into fentanyl trafficking intercepted several conversations between cartel intermediaries discussing a secure storage location inside Chicago. One phrase appeared repeatedly in the recordings: the bunker. Agents initially believed the word referred to a warehouse or industrial facility somewhere outside the city. But as investigators traced financial transfers linked to the logistics company, they discovered that several shell corporations involved were quietly tied to property maintenance. Contracts for a single address: the mayor's private estate. Surveillance teams were assigned to monitor activity around the property. For weeks, agents watched delivery trucks enter the rear service entrance late at night. None of the vehicles stayed longer than 10 minutes. Many belonged to legitimate shipping companies transporting everyday goods across the Midwest, yet their routes repeatedly passed through distribution hubs already under investigation for cartel activity. Federal prosecutors authorized deeper surveillance. Thermal imaging scans conducted from a nearby rooftop revealed an unusual heat signature beneath the rear garden of the estate. The ground itself appeared warmer than surrounding areas, suggesting the presence of a hidden structure below the surface. If investigations like this matter to you, Consider sharing the story so more people understand how complex criminal networks can operate beneath ordinary appearances. Engineers reviewing the thermal data believed the pattern indicated an underground facility far larger than a normal basement. At that point, the investigation shifted into high gear. Financial analysts uncovered another layer of the operation when they traced hundreds of millions of dollars moving through a maze of shell corporations registered in Nevada, Delaware, and Panama. In total, more than $480 million had circulated through these accounts over 4 years. Encrypted messages recovered from seized phones described a distribution system spanning 7 states, with Chicago serving as the central hub. Shipments arrived from the southern border concealed inside legitimate freight loads and moved into Illinois through commercial trucking routes that rarely faced inspection. Once inside the city, the narcotics were temporarily stored before being redistributed throughout the Midwest. The storage site referenced in the intercepted communications was the bunker, and investigators now believed that bunker was located beneath the mayor's property. As evidence mounted, federal authorities assembled a joint task force involving the FBI, D, ICE, and the U.S. Marshals Service. The operation was given a name: Operation Iron Vault. Agents mapped out the suspected underground structure using ground-penetrating radar, and what they saw stunned even experienced investigators. The bunker extended nearly 80 feet beneath the estate with reinforced concrete walls forming interconnected storage chambers. Ventilation systems ran through concealed ducts disguised as irrigation pipes in the garden. Engineers determined the facility had likely been constructed during renovations to the property several years earlier. If this investigation is opening your eyes to how sophisticated organized crime networks can become, let us know your thoughts in the comments and help keep conversations about accountability active. By late autumn, prosecutors believed they had enough evidence to move forward, but the arrests required extraordinary coordination. Investigators had identified more than 200 individuals connected to the distribution network, including drivers, financial intermediaries, warehouse operators, and cartel facilitators spread across multiple states. If even one target was alerted, the entire operation could collapse. So federal agencies planned simultaneous raids across 17 locations. At 4:21 a.m. that November morning, the first breach team moved through the rear gate of the mayor's estate. Agents quickly secured the residence while a specialized engineering unit began excavating a concealed hatch beneath a section of landscape stone. Within minutes, the steel door was exposed. When agents opened the entrance, they found a reinforced staircase descending into a concrete corridor stretching beneath the property. Shelves lined the walls and industrial refrigeration units hummed quietly as agents moved deeper into the bunker. Stacked from floor to ceiling were sealed packages containing narcotics. Evidence teams spent nearly 48 hours cataloging what they found. By the time the count was complete, the numbers were staggering. More than 4 tons of cocaine, methamphetamine, and fentanyl recovered from the underground facility, along with $94 million in bundled currency, encrypted communication servers, and detailed ledgers documenting shipments across 12 states. Across the Midwest, tactical teams executed synchronized arrests tied to the same network. Truck depots in Indiana were raided, warehouse complexes in Ohio were secured, and distribution houses in Missouri and Wisconsin were searched by federal agents. By nightfall, 214 individuals were in federal custody. The scale of the operation shocked even veteran investigators. But the most disturbing discovery came from digital records recovered inside the bunker's server room. Those files revealed that the network had been planning expansion routes into 5 additional states within the next year. The bunker beneath the estate was only the first stage of a much larger system. If you believe corruption and organized crime should always be brought into the light, consider helping spread awareness so stories like this reach more people. For communities already struggling with the impact of narcotics trafficking, the consequences were enormous. Federal health agencies later estimated that drugs moved through this distribution network may have contributed to thousands of overdoses across the region. Entire neighborhoods had unknowingly been supplied through a system hidden beneath the home of one of the city's most powerful public officials. In the months following the arrests, federal prosecutors filed charges including conspiracy to distribute controlled substances, racketeering, and money laundering. Several defendants accepted plea agreements in exchange for testimony about cartel involvement, while others prepared to fight the charges in federal court. The mayor resigned days after the raid while denying knowledge of the underground operation. But investigators continue examining financial connections, linking the property renovations to the shell corporations used in the scheme. Operation Iron Vault remains ongoing, and investigators believe additional arrests are possible as they continue tracing financial records and communication networks tied to the cartel distribution system. What began as a routine financial irregularity investigation ultimately exposed a criminal infrastructure hidden in plain sight. A system that relied not only on secrecy, but on the assumption that power and public trust would prevent anyone from looking too closely. Because the most dangerous criminal enterprises rarely operate in abandoned buildings or dark alleyways. Sometimes they exist beneath manicured lawns behind secure gates and inside institutions people assume are beyond suspicion. The lesson from this investigation is not only the scale of the operation uncovered, but the reminder that accountability exists only when people are willing to question what appears ordinary. And somewhere tonight, in another city behind another perfectly ordinary building, another hidden network may already be operating, waiting to see whether anyone is paying attention.